right, John, from San Diego to Milwaukee. Welcome to Friday Night Baseball on Sportsnet LA, brought to you by Jack in the Box. It's the Dodgers and the Brewers, two of the top teams in the National League, two of the hottest teams in the National League. Dodgers win 2 of 3 in San Diego. They've won 7 of their last 8, and through 50 games sit at 31-19. The Brewers just swept the Cubs in Milwaukee. They might be the hottest team in baseball, having won 16 of their last 21, and in first place in a hot Central Division. We welcome you inside. Joe Davis and O. Hershiser. Dodgers take 2 of 3 from San Diego. Now turn ahead here to take on a Milwaukee team, and the Dodgers come in playing as well-rounded a baseball as they have all season.
Yeah, their record might have been a little better at the beginning of the season, but we didn't think they were playing the best Dodger baseball. But right now, with the offense and the pitching, the way it's going, the offense, I would categorize it as just enough. There have been some explosions, but just enough. And to save the best for last, I got to say the pitching has been long. It's been deep. The starters go deep into the game, and the bullpen has a scoreless streak working almost 30 innings. So this pitching and hitting has been great.
For more on that bullpen, we go down to Kirsten Watson.
Thanks, Joe. Well, leaning in more to that bullpen, they come into this one with a 29 consecutive scoreless inning streak, something that hasn't been done in 28 years. The group has been excellent. When talking to Dave Roberts just as to what he's been seeing from his relievers, he said that right now they're going after guys, they're being effective. The defense has been excellent behind them. When you talk to those relief pitchers, what they're saying is right now they're just looking to do their job. They feel confident, and they're looking to keep it going behind Justin Robleski tonight, guys.
All right, Kirsten, if Robleski does what he sometimes does, that bullpen might not even be needed tonight. He's had such an awesome season, 6-1 overall.
Yeah, one little bad outing against Atlanta that gave the ERA over 2, but other than that, he has been immaculate. He can go to both sides of the plate at any time, and of course the 2 main pitches, the fastball has great command and the slider has great command.
All right, it's a rematch of the National League Championship Series. The Dodgers and the Brewers in the first of 3 coming up on Sportsnet LA. Back-to-back world champion Dodger baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Jack's new Smash Jack Sliders Munchie Meal with a chance to win the $75,000 prize for Jack's 75th anniversary. Okay. I'll be ready.
Should be a fun series in Milwaukee these next 3 days.
It's going to be a great series. You have 2 teams that are playing great, that have all the talent in the world and know how to play the game. Can't wait to see it. It's going to be fun. A lot of fun.
2 good teams. They really are. I mean, you got to give the Brewers, obviously, credit, and they're playing good right now. The Dodgers coming off a good series, so this should be exciting. Dodgers, focus on yourself. Play your game.
Dodgers swept 4 in the NLCS after the Brewers won all 6 during the regular season. First pitch with Joe and Orals coming up next.
The Fire. World champion Dodger baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Carl's Jr. The real sourdough star is back at Carl's Jr. Get it for just $5.99 for a limited time. And by your Southern California Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Dodgers and Brewers facing off for the first time since the sweep in the championship series that culminated with a game for the ages. Shohei Ohtani strikes out 10 as the pitcher and hits 3 home runs in a game unlike any that we've ever seen and probably ever will see again. There really is only one candidate to have a game like that, and it is the man that'll lead off for the Dodgers tonight in the series opener here in Milwaukee. And here is the batting order presented by your SoCal Helpful Honda dealers, with Mookie Betts hitting second. 2 hits for him on Wednesday as well. 2 doubles for Freddie Freeman on Wednesday after he had 2 homers in Game 2. Kyle Tucker's in right field hitting cleanup. Andy Pages, the center fielder. Then Max Muncy at third base. Tasker Hernandez has been one of their hottest hitters lately. He connected on a long home run on Wednesday afternoon. Dalton Rushing gets a rare start behind the plate, and Ha-Seong Kim has started every game this week for the Dodgers. They face off with this Brewers pitching staff. It doesn't matter who they have because they've cycled in different names through the years. they've dominated. They've had 11 different starting pitchers this season and still number 3 overall, and over the last month, number 1 in the majors in ERA. Tonight it's Logan Henderson, who's 24 years old, from Houston, Texas. He made his debut late last year. So far this season, back and forth. When you have 11 different starting pitchers, there probably are several that are going back and forth. He has gone up and down. 9 starts in his career, 4-1 with a 249.
He's a guy who throws a lot of strikes, almost 70% first pitch strikes, and here's the arsenal that he puts over the plate. He's really mainly a four-seam fastball change-up pitcher, kind of like Kyle Hurt that comes out of the Dodger bullpen. But this guy has shown really good stats and good pitchability all the way through the minors. He deserves to be up here, and he's taken advantage of the opportunity.
Coming off a win against the Twins last time, the long run that he gave up was on a home run, and there could be some susceptibility there. Gives up a lot of balls in the air. Dodgers have won 7 of 8, 31-19 at the 50-game mark. Brewers coming off a sweep at Wrigley Field. They've won 16 of their last 21 games to move into first place in the Central at 29-18. Ohtani climbs in, and off we go with a fastball, 94 downstairs. Ohtani had a mini version of Game 4 of the championship series on Wednesday with 5 scoreless innings and a home run on the first pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He picked on a fastball, kind of up and in like the last one we just saw. But that one he connected right away. And the pitching was really good. It was a battle for him. It wasn't his best stuff, but he got the job done.
Ohtani hitting .480 over a 7-game hitting streak. He's reached base 20 of his last 34 times up. And that slump feels like it's getting smaller and smaller in the rearview mirror. On this 2-1 pitch, takes outside, ball 3. He has chased way less, and that has been the seed of this whole emergence the last week or so. Discipline was better at first, and then the swing got better, and it's all starting to line up for him. He leads off this series by taking a walk. Well, we often see pitchers change their arsenals when they face the Dodgers. We sometimes see guys just not look like themselves. And here's a guy in Henderson, you're telling us, attacks the zone as well as anybody, issuing a leadoff walk.
Yeah, if you take guys that have started 5 times in the big leagues, his strike rate is the highest. So he usually is in the zone.
Brings up Mookie Betts, who's hit the ball hard since coming off of the injured list. For the most part, hadn't had much to show for it. Went into the last game in San Diego 2 for 17 on the road trip, and then good for his head. He got 2 hits in the final game. Doesn't matter how confident you are, how good you are, even if you're hitting it hard, the results help the head.
Yeah, it really does. You know, instead of using adrenaline or frustration to calm your nerves, when it falls in, it multiplies.
Down 0-2 and takes strike 3. So Henderson very quickly finds the form that he's had throughout his short time in the big leagues.
The first pitch to Mookie was inside on the edge, and then he wore out the outside corner, made 2 perfect pitcher's pitches.
1-on-1 out. Freddie Freeman to the plate. Now, this place in Arizona, similar dimensions and feels, and Freddie has been an awesome hitter in both of those ballparks. 305 here with an OPS up in MVP territory, above 1,000.
They have a really good batter's eye here. Yes, the big scoreboard is out there and can catch your eye, but they have a big backdrop for the batter's eye. That big black screen there, really, the hitters see the ball really well here.
Ball tends to fly a little bit better when it's opened up, but it's only been open 1 time this year. Got to be above 60 degrees, and it's been a pretty cool spring. Temperatures around 50 today. Had it open during batting practice, let some sun in, but they closed it up. Freeman had 2 home runs on Tuesday, 2 doubles on Wednesday. He had just 5 extra base hits over the previous month, and then 4 of them in a 2-day span. He, like a lot of the Dodgers, trying to recapture his best form as we get into this season. Now about a third of the way through. On this 2-1, he watches a fastball clip the bottom of the strike zone and even the count.
Henderson's got one of those high spin rate, at least seems like it, because it maintains his altitude when he's throwing it down by the knees.
Yeah, that's how it can be 93, 94 and still really good.
It's like he's throwing a dart.
Strikes out Freeman. The other thing is he's barely 6 feet tall, kind of a low arm slot, and so that ball has that upshoot feel to it, and it's hard to pick up.
It's like it's coming out of his shoulder.
This is the kind of guy that before they could quantify these things might not even get a look.
Oh, right. And I think they're stretching the 6 foot in the media guide.
So after the leadoff walk, he strikes out Betts and Freeman. And up comes Kyle Tucker. Quiet start to the series in San Diego, but he reached base 3 times on Wednesday.
The Dodger lineup is starting to get longer. You know, Mookie's getting his hits. Shohei's hot at the top. You get down the end, Teoscar's hot. Kim has been doing the job in the 9th hole. And the other guys are just kind of chipping away. It's getting tougher and tougher to get through.
Well, we talk about a lineup ebbing and flowing as the season goes on. It's doing that kind of perfectly right now, where Muncy and Pages, who have been their best hitters for most of the season, both below 200 the last 2 weeks. But as they've fallen off and shouldn't be expected to carry the offense forever, the other guys have started to step forward. That's how it works.
And it really works when you're getting the starting pitching that they're getting and the bullpen, what they're doing. So the offense just needs to be just enough. 4 or 5 runs is plenty for this staff right now.
There goes Ohtani. Throw from Contreras, who's the best in the game at this, not in time. Ohtani steals second. Contreras above 50% this year, cutting down potential base stealers.
Shohei wanting to create a little action. This is the farthest he'll be from his next start. And so with an off day, it's going to be really close to see if that foot got in there. You slow down as soon as your body hits the dirt, and he looks like he might be out by a little tiny bit. But one thing in the Dodgers' favor and Ohtani's favor is the call on the field is safe. Is there enough to overturn it? Oh. Now I'm worried about, did he tag him?
I think he eventually does, but I don't know if he does quite as early as it first looks.
The previous pitch was called a ball.
I'm not totally sure why that matters.
The previous pitch was called a ball. The catcher is challenging.
Okay, so they first have to take care of the ABS challenge, which is not going to have an effect on the outcome of this. So this will be first, and then they'll look at the challenge on the call at second. This one's powered by T-Mobile. And will stand.
The pitch is confirmed. Milwaukee has 1 challenge remaining.
Now
you check in with New York.
Yes.
Milwaukee is challenging the safe call at second.
So that's the proper order of things right there. So the count stays 2-1 on Tucker. Let's see if the inning continues here. We get a good look at it in the stadium. They have a giant video board. I think he might be out.
Yeah, I think he gets him on the sleeve.
The call on the field is overturned. The runner is out. Milwaukee will return the challenge.
All right, so Contreras stays awesome cutting down runners. That's his 14th caught stealing to just 12 successful steals. Here comes Justin Robleski back in a moment. Pat Murphy's Brewers lineup here for game 1 of this series looks like this. Jackson Chourio headed up there to lead off, and then Bryce Terang and William Contreras has already made his mark on this ball game. Christian Yelich back from injury. Same with Andrew Vaughn. Jake Bauers, their hottest hitter. Former Angel Luis Rengifo, the third baseman and 7-hitter, with Sal Frelick and Joey Ortiz finishing up the lineup. And Justin Robleski, who's second in the league with those 6 wins after he beat the Angels, giving up 2 runs over 6 innings last weekend. And he attacks Chourio with strike 1.
He's going to attack all game, and he's a very good situational pitcher. He's good at getting ahead.
Chourio up the middle with a leadoff single. This is going to be a fascinating matchup to watch. An aggressive Brewers team that puts the ball in play better than any in baseball. And Robleski, who you know is coming right into the strike zone.
Yeah, he's coming into the strike zone. He doesn't get a lot of swing and miss, even though the last couple starts he's starting to get more swing and miss. But he's mainly a fastball slider pitcher. He'll mix in the other stuff, and he might need that tonight to get that off of it. They are a contact hitting team, and they look for their walks also.
Chourio's aboard, and Bryce Terang is up. Terang just keeps on getting better. He's always played good defense, always been a speedy runner. Last year he added the power. This year he's added the on base. Leads the National League in on base percentage. Southern California guy.
Yeah, a serious display during batting practice, Joe. Like, he was raking. It was impressive.
Never really was known for the power prior to last season. Increased his bat speed more than any hitter in baseball. 4 miles per hour of bat speed, which is unheard of. Reincorporated the leg kick that he'd had when he was coming up through the minors, but he ditched when he got to the majors just to be able to keep his head above water, make enough contact.
He's got a real thin handle bat, kind of long into the big barrel, and a little counterbalance there at the end with that knob.
There has been more swing and miss, but those strikeouts have been worth it for the increase in power. And this Brewers lineup needs whatever power it can get. As scrappy and relentless as they are, they're dead last in slugging. 2-2. Terang slashes one into center field. That's down in front of Pages, and back-to-back singles to open things up against Robleski.
For a guy who brings the power in their lineup, he cuts down on his swing right here and just drops the top hand to get some extension and just slaps it there to left field. That is a complete hitter. It is well done. Not a whole lot of bat speed, just trying to make contact right there.
First and second, nobody out. The hitter is William Contreras. Coming off a 3-hit game on Wednesday at Wrigley Field and hitting .370 over a 6-game hitting streak. Golfs one deep down the line. If it's fair, it's gone. It's both. Pitches into the game. It's 3-0 Milwaukee.
Three batters, 3 make contact. This one the loudest. They don't strike out, they walk, and they are guessing strike on certain pitches already. And that was a cheat swing that he got.
Christian Yelich now. It's only the 3rd home run that Robleski's allowed this season. 2nd lowest home run rate in the majors. Here's one flexed up the middle. Betts able to get there for the first out.
First pitch, and he is swinging like I'm getting a strike. Out in front of it. Boy, build him a tower, an observation tower.
That's the one thing that's been missing for Contreras, is hitting for career high average. But as we've talked about, they're searching for more power, and he's somebody capable of giving it to him. Does right there. Base is empty. Andrew Vaughn. Yeah, the Brewers swept the regular season series against the Dodgers last year, won all 6 games. And the Dodgers, of course, returning the favor when it mattered most, sweeping the championship series and completely shutting down this offense. Milwaukee had just 1 run in each of those 4 games. Every year, same story here. It's like, you don't love the roster. They've lost a lot of pieces. Not sure they're going to be that good again. 97 wins last year to lead the majors. Their 4th Central Division title the last 5 years. Perennial postseason team. Perennially doubted still.
They can remake and repackage players, and they turn out to be productive, especially pitchers.
Here's another base hit. Andrew Vaughn into center field. Working on a win presented by the Home Depot, giving you some more detail on what we're talking about. Those 97 wins that Pat Murphy's team had last year didn't just lead the majors, but it was a record for this franchise. Beat the Cubs in the division series before falling to the Dodgers in the CS. You talk about repackaging, reshaping the pitchers, and a couple of hitters they've done that with as well, including this guy here in Jake Bauers, who's going through the best stretch of his career. Ducks out of the way of the first pitch right here. 3rd season with the Brewers. He's at 30 years old, and a .210 hitter for his career. Is at .290 this year. 411 over an 11-game hitting streak.
Not saying that first pitch had a purpose, but it served a purpose. Giving up 4 hits to the first 5 hitters. 3 of them on your slider, 1 on the fastball.
Make it 5 hits. Bauers extends his hitting streak to 12 games, his on-base streak to 22. And so far in this strength against strength matchup, the Brewers having their way.
They're a very good bat-to-ball team, and this outing is starting to look like the outing where Wroblewski went deep into the game but gave up 7 runs to the Atlanta Braves. Braves a little different in the way they approach things. They barrel you up for power and gap. This team is scratching and clawing. I guess they get the big fly, but normally it is a bunch of base hits and hitting with runners in scoring position.
And so in a matchup like this, you wonder if it's just going to kind of be how things land, how things fall, how do the baseball gods look upon this one. But Milwaukee hitting the ball hard enough where they're taking it into their own hands and out of the hands of the gods. Luis Rengifo, 1st and 2nd, 1 away.
Yeah, Terang is the only one that really kind of blooped in. All the other ones have been barreled up pretty well.
Rengifo 2 years ago hit .300 for the Angels. The average dipped down last year, and here in his first season in Milwaukee, it's below .200.
As bad as the inning's gone, you're still 1 pitch away with a double play ball to get a little bit of momentum back, and a long way to go in the game.
Got a fastball by him for strike 1. How many times have we seen him get punched in the mouth early on and still get deep? Give up 7 runs 2 starts ago and went 8 2/3. Rengifo left side and over Mookie Betts. Station to station, bases loaded. 6 hits out of the first 7 hitters.
Mookie's jump freezes Vaughn, and that keeps it from being a run. He had to hold up, but he was really hung out to dry anyway. He might as well just keep running, because as far as he is watching that, if Mookie catches it, he's out going back to second. The secondary lead is just so bad. He reads the height of the ball off the bat, but then freezes. You either go or you stay with that one.
The 8th man to bat in this first inning. Sal Frelick lofts a fly ball to left field. Hernandez going back on it. Vaughn tagging and scoring. 4-0 Milwaukee.
Tough outing against Atlanta. A good solid outing against the Angels and get a win. And now this one tough.
Now the first 5 starts for Justin Wroblewski, he gave up 2 runs total in 32 innings. Last 3 starts, including tonight, that's 11 in 15 innings. High on the 9-hitter Joey Ortiz.
Patches like this are going to happen whether you're having a great season or a good season. You just have to be mentally disciplined to kind of wade through them and get back on track as soon as you can. This one is not a loss. This is so early in the game. There's plenty of time for the offense to come back, and you just got to believe that when you're on the mound out there struggling. Find a positive mindset.
They've averaged better than 5 runs per game on the year. Over 6 runs per game during this 7-1 stretch.
If this is in the 6th or 7th inning, it can be very tough on you, but right here in the first.
Two and two.
Dalton Rushing's ability to catch that ball and bring it in a little bit fooled his pitcher.
Didn't fool himself into a challenge, though.
No, he knew he was trying to steal a strike.
Deuce is wild in the first as Ortiz fights it off and will do it again. Ortiz, good defensive shortstop, but he's hitting just 196.
Wroblewski's pitching style comes from Clayton Kershaw, where you just attack, and at 26 pitches next inning, he's going to need a Kershaw to get the pitch count back down.
We mentioned just the 4 runs in the National League Championship Series sweep, 1 in each game, 4 in the first inning tonight. They've won 8 in a row against the Dodgers in the regular season. Runners to be moving, top of the order, waiting on deck for a second crack at Wroblewski already. So looking to put his foot down right here and end this inning. 3-2 to the 9-hitter is ball 4.
When they're making this much contact and scoring this many runs, you feel like you have to be perfect, and that's what that one looked like in a 3-2 count. Normally he is just filling the zone up, but he was trying to make a perfect pitch because of the results that have already been in.
Well, the Brewers are in first place, even though for a lot of this season the lineup's been without several of its stars. Here's Churio, who missed a month and a half with a broken hand. Churio's out for most of the first month. Same with Yelich and Vaughn. So just these last couple of weeks where they've been full strength. Churio, one of the most dynamic young players in baseball. In his 3rd season, only 22. 20 home runs, 20 stolen bases, both seasons. The first guy ever to have one of those seasons before turning 21. First time this series been up with the bases loaded. Now, I don't know, 2, he fouls it off.
Dalton Rushing with some encouragement out to Wroblewski right there from the location of that fastball. Definitely need your catcher tonight. You can feel really alone when giving up 4 runs in the first and you got bases loaded, 2 out.
Six hits and a walk in this inning. Bases loaded, 2 out. Another 0-2 curve that he lays off.
Started him off with a curve, tried to finish him with a curve.
Churio, very aggressive hitter, blessing and a curse in that he can make contact with all those. He knows he can, so he continues to chase. Now 2-2. And Wroblewski trying to keep a bad first inning from becoming a disaster. No matter what, damage done on the scoreboard and on the arm both. 8th pitch of the at-bat coming here, 36th of this first inning.
Not a whole lot of swing and miss. And this is a terrible time to have to go to your bullpen. The first game of a series. You can really put some wear and tear on a great bullpen that the Dodgers have.
With no off day before the next series. From 0-2 to 3-2. And now the bullpen does start to move. Gervais got him with the high fastball. And this way too long inning comes to a close. 4-0 after 1. Well, William Contreras has already had himself a day. Caught stealing to finish off the top of the first inning, and then a 3-run home run in the bottom of the first. Uphill climb for the Dodgers in this one. Kyle Tucker, who's at the plate when the first inning ended, takes ball 1 from Logan Henderson.
Henderson below 50% as far as strikes. Changeup, it's 0 for 4.
Oh, you talk about him getting ahead of hitters at a high rate, almost 70%. When he does that, guys are hitting just 160 against him. When he falls behind, much more ordinary. Here's 1-1 offering. It's that changeup that has always been his best pitch. Coming up in Texas. And then to a junior college in Texas. 4th-round draft pick out of that junior college. Never a big-time prospect. And then dealt with injuries on his way up. Brewers continued to have high hopes for him and recognized that he was open-minded, really eager to learn, take whatever coaching they had, and comes back, finally gets healthy a couple years ago, and from off the grid to minor league pitcher of the year. It was in 2024, and then debuted a year after that. Last year got to the big leagues and dominated, where they were thinking he could be part of the postseason rotation. He had a 1.78 ERA in 5 starts, but then in August injured his arm and didn't pitch again.
It's some elbow inflammation.
Strikes out Tucker with that dancing change.
Both these starting pitchers come into this game really using the basics of baseball. Predominantly both of them 2-pitch pitchers. Wroblewski fastball slider, Henderson fastball changeup. They both attack the zone. They both try and get ahead of hitters and then put them away with weak contact. Just playing the odds, playing baseball.
Pages with 1 away. Difference between him and Wroblewski is that they've gone in different directions to where they are with the usage, where Wroblewski had a bunch of pitches, used them all, and he's like, no, I'm going to simplify and use the 2. Henderson's like, I can't survive like this. It was 90% fastball changeup last year, so he's increased the usage of the cutter, a little bit more of the slider. He's been working on a curveball that he's yet to show in a game. Conventional wisdom has that you need more than just the 2 pitches that Wroblewski's chosen for the most part to go to. Sky high to left. Bowers. 2 out.
The longer you are successful with just 2 pitches, you have to then maybe make some adjustments, because the scouts, the league, the data is going to all of a sudden reveal that you're not a mystery. And so your location has to get finer and finer and finer as you are less and less of a mystery. And so, yeah, we saw with Robo, he tried to dance some curveballs in there in that struggling inning.
Muncy with 2 away. Safe to assume that that adjustment has to happen faster than ever these days because they have that date of the moment you arrive?
Yes, but realistically, facing a pitcher is way more important than just the data and, oh, they're telling me what's going to happen. Seeing it happen, experiencing it, understanding with their delivery, when do I start my load, picking the ball up out of their hand and with their delivery, is it deceptive? Is it easy to see? Yeah, it's one thing to have the knowledge from the book. It's another thing to actually see it in person.
Muncy's down swinging, 4 Ks over a couple of hitless innings for the rookie Henderson.
MLB is partnering with the Crisis Text Line to increase mental health awareness. Free 24/7 confidential support in English and in Spanish. Text MLB to 741-741.
Bryce Turang opens the second for Milwaukee and takes a strike from Justin Wroblewski. Happy to be out of that first inning, but 38 pitches already used. And 2 on Turang. If he and the Dodgers get 7 strikeouts in this game, everybody gets that free Jumbo Jack tomorrow with the purchase of a large drink at LA area restaurants. 1 strikeout in the first inning of Jackson Chourio to, even after 4 runs at Cross, limit the damage right there. Brewers had the bases loaded with Chourio at the plate.
Robo trying to figure out with Dalton rushing what is working. He's given up 2 hits on the fastball, 3 for 3 on his slider. There's your 2 main pitches, and even given up a hit on his sinker. So it is a challenge right now to locate and find some outs. And what pitch do they not hit?
Turang singled with 2 strikes his first time. On a 1-2 here, fouls it off and stays alive. An entire baseball career of getting punched in the mouth like this for Justin Wroblewski and then having to respond. We know what he's done at the major league level. Bill Plunkett in the Orange County Register this week did a good piece about the longer history of those struggles and of bouncing back into his college days. Started off at Clemson. And as a freshman at Clemson, Justin had a 10 ERA. That was bad. What was worse is one day he's riding his scooter to practice and somebody blew a stop sign and hit it. Bad knee injury. Could have been worse. But just a freshman season to forget, to the point where he says they basically said, we don't need you anymore. He had to go find a new college home. He goes to State College of Florida. And in the first practice there, takes a line drive off of the jaw, breaks his jaw, has to have it wired shut for 5 weeks because he's on a liquid diet, loses a bunch of weight, loses all his velocity, goes on to a 3rd college, goes to Oklahoma State, and he's pitching pretty well there. Okay, maybe now I've got it. Elbow blows out. Tommy John surgery. So if you think him giving up 4 runs in the first inning is going to be any kind of shot to his system, knock him off the rails at all, this is just kind of par for the course. The struggles, the challenge, those have been the way. 1 away in the second.
That is some endurance. That is some love for the game, and I love to be a pitcher. It's a fantastic story. Not fantastic to go through, but a fantastic story.
You know, adversity, struggles, they're only bad if you let them be defined as that. Contreras, who went deep his first time, takes change for a ball. He's the kind of guy that's viewed those as opportunities. Ahead 1-2.
For 3 years, he got voted less likely to succeed, least likely to succeed. That's like, I don't want to be in the yearbook with that. That's crazy. Now he's big leagues and pitching like this.
Here's 1-2 to Contreras.
Might as well just go ahead and get the World Series MVP this year and make a movie.
And last year was a microcosm of that whole career, where he gave up those 8 runs in Washington early on, got sent back down. Hadn't pitched in a month when they called upon him in the World Series, and he pitched so well. 4 games, including in Game 6 and Game 7, did not give up a run. So he had proven it to himself before that he could overcome challenges. Proved it to everybody at the major league level last year. Two years of watching Clayton Kershaw. You were mentioning how he has followed his lead in a lot of ways. He said watching Clayton in his everyday routine was something that he learned from, but then just the way that Clayton attacked hitters. Contreras now goes the other way with a base hit, so he rockets a home run to the pull side and now serves a 2-strike single the other way.
Like Terang in his first at bat, this is one that he just cuts down the swing and just kind of serves it out there to the opposite field. This Brewer lineup with this approach is more than pesky. They are just irritating.
Pat Murphy's called it a woodpecker mentality.
Yeah.
Relentless, gritty, grindy, annoying.
They're the kind of team that they're just hitting a rock with a sledgehammer, and you don't know when it's going to break, but they just keep hitting it.
Yell a cheer. Pop up, right side of the diamond. This is the first guy in 5 hitters that's been retired within the first 6 pitches. It's taken 7+ pitches the last 4 hitters prior to that.
At 54 pitches, you're hoping to be through 4 innings. With just 2 outs in the second. It's one of the best in the National League coming into this game on pitch efficiency per inning.
Here's Vaughn. Flies one right center. Pages on his horse to the track. Can't get there. Up against the wall. Contreras going to try to score from first. And he will. 2-out RBI double from Andrew Vaughn. And it's 5-0.
Andrew Vaughn gets into this one, supplies most of the power himself. That's a 75-mile-an-hour curveball that he picks on that's just kind of laying there. And the curvature just takes it away from Andy Pages just enough. You would think about diving, but he'd be diving into the wall with his head. So,
sounds like a bad idea.
Yeah, I understand why he pulled up on that one.
Fastballs by Bowers. Bowers with a single his first time to extend his hitting streak to a major league best 12 games actively. .670 his career on base plus slugging. .870 this year.
This outing is going to be a little bit like the Atlanta outing, where Dave Roberts goes as long as he can with him to protect the bullpen. Not only for this game, but the rest of the series. So you're probably going to try and get 4 innings out of him.
He's given up 8 hits to the first 14 batters of this game. Those 8 hits already tying a season high. And yep, Dave is all Dodger fans at the moment. Thinking about what you were talking about, and not just what this means here in the second inning, but what it means for the weekend potentially.
Yeah, if he can get to 85, 90 pitches and get through 4 or 4 1/3, that'd be important. Because you're looking at a game so far that you're only going to have to pitch 8 innings if the scoreboard stays the same. So if you can get Robo into the fourth. Finish the fourth, get him into the fifth even by 1 out or so. It's going to protect the bullpen.
Just don't turn it into a bullpen game.
Exactly. And right now, as a manager and a pitching coach, you're thinking, I need some endurance out of my pitcher.
Here's a high drive to left center field. Teoscar Hernandez is there, and the inning is over. But a 2-out double from Andrew Vaughn tacks on for Milwaukee.
Be one of the first 40,000 fans and take home a Teoscar Hernandez Mr. Seeds bobblehead on May 30th. Presented by Yamava Resort and Casino at San Manuel. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions for more information.
Here's the one getting the Seeds. His home run on Wednesday in San Diego. Leads off this third. And takes strike one from Logan Henderson. He told me it's the best that he's hit a ball since last June, when he took Logan Webb with the Giants deep. Seen the average lately. Been getting his hits, been getting on base for the walks. And he said, I've been seeing it. The timing has just been off, and then he hits this. And to make it fly like that, and to do it on a changeup, he said, okay, my timing's got to be right to hit a ball like that. So he's hoping to build off of what he was feeling Wednesday. He said the other thing is I wasn't thinking at all. And when I'm struggling, I'm thinking, even if I know I shouldn't be.
Got some personality in the swing now. And between pitches, he looks a lot more hitterish, not so pensive.
On his heels here at 0-2. He said, now I want to hit one like that the other way. That's when I'll know that it's all the way back.
That's a high bar.
I said, all right, T-Mobile sign. See you there tonight.
That was a pitch to do it on. Outer half fastball, so on time, but it looked like it was going to right center on that foul ball. Read this foul ball, you see the angle there.
Leading off this third, Dodgers looking for their first hit against Henderson, who stays away this time with a slider.
Interviewing the umpire to see if it was a ball or a strike. I think those conversations should be illegal.
Not quite over the T-Mobile sign. Tap back to him. Over to first base as Henderson was determined to keep that away from him. And one gone here in the third as Henderson is impressed over the first 2+ innings. Well, what has become lately a rare start for Dalton Rushing. Only his third start the last 11 games. He's 0 for his last 15. And harder to break out of that when the at-bats are fewer and far between. Looking for his first hit since May 6th. Now, Dave Roberts told us today he's going to play 2 of the 3 games this weekend. Both benefits. You get him a few more at-bats together, and Will Smith continued chance to freshen up and get his swing right.
Yeah, when your at-bats are few and far between, you've got to make sure you get strikes, and then you've got to simplify your approach a little bit. Will getting a rest for the body and the mind. Henderson gets the call, but he wasn't happy with the execution there. He wants that changeup to be more low and away. Threw it inside.
Here's his 1-2 and his 5th strikeout. Making that fastball 93-94 look like it's 100.
Yeah, this one does look like one of those upshoots. It's not rising, but it seems like it's maintaining its height. Bat usually and does go under it.
2 up, 2 down in the third. Dodgers got a leadoff walk in this game from Shohei Ohtani. Don't have a base runner since. And now the 9-hitter Kim.
Well, no Dodger has faced this guy on the mound, and so the second time around could be a little bit more interesting.
The 24-year-old rookie fires a 1-0 pitch. Kim hitting .400 against fastballs, above .400 against fastballs, but .160 against everything else. So let's see if Henderson leans on that changeup against him. There was a cutter, and it's hit in the ground to second for Terrain. And once through the order, nothing doing.
Back-to-back world champion Dodger baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Visit Kia.com to discover movement that inspires. As Justin Robleski goes back out there for the third, already 61 pitches for a guy who averages under 15 per inning on the year. Strike on Luis Rengifo. So at this point, just trying to take a bite out of the rest of this game, however big a bite as he can. Not as much about saving this game as he is saving the staff for the series. Ground out to second, 1 gone in the third, and we get a word from Jack in the Box.
Get my new Smash Jack Sliders Munchie Meal for a chance to win $75,000. Welcome to Jack in the Box.
1 out, and up comes Sal Frelick. Frelick, one of the guys that best personifies what these Brewers have been all about the last couple of years. The scrappiness we're talking about. He's been known to yell from the dugout, "Drag him." He says you might be down 0-2, you might be down in the game, but don't roll over easy. Drag him down with you. And that's become something they all will yell over there. So you get those long at-bats going, you hear that bark from the entire Brewers dugout. Drag him. Out of Massachusetts, undersized, scrappy player, grew up wanting to be the next Dustin Pedroia, who that man right there coached at Arizona State. 2 outs for Joey Ortiz, shoots it down the line, foul. Robleski with a chance right here to have that quick inning he's been searching for. The first 2 outs on 4 pitches.
If he can get out of here before 70 pitches or right on 70, he's got a chance to go 5.
There should be a miracle after a 40-pitch first.
Sure would. It'd be a godsend to the bullpen. Bullpen, if they're in a losing effort, would only have to cover 3 innings. And that's kind of normal workload for the current major league bullpens. Covering 3 innings is nice, even though it's in a losing effort.
Sasaki tomorrow, Yamamoto on Sunday. And this championship series rematch. And a foul back at the 98 that time.
You know, on the offensive side, we talk about productive outs and giving yourself up, moving the runner over. That's what Justin has turned this outing into, is kind of giving yourself up. That is some kind of catch right there. Whether it had anything to do with the game or not, that was crazy. Catch this. Okay.
Check swing, no swing, and it's gone from 0-2 to 3-2.
Big pitch for the team right here. Getting the dugout.
Got the first 2 outs on 4 pitches. This is going to be the 8th pitch to Ortiz with the top of the order and Churio on deck. Strikes him out, and there's the 1-2-3 inning he's been looking for.
Top of the order for the Dodgers, Shohei Ohtani to lead off as they try to chip away. Dodgers about to get their second look at Logan Henderson, down 5-0. 4 runs in the first inning for the Brewers, 1 run in the second. Ohtani walked to start this game and was caught trying to steal second. Dodgers don't have a base runner since that walk. Fastball's by him, strike 1. Now, in addition to the power lately and all the hits Ohtani's been racking up, that first inning walk is 8th in his last 8 games. Even with all the hand wringing about him getting his bat going, he's second in the National League in on-base percentage. One ball, one strike. Swings and misses at the changeup. For me, his stance and his load has really gotten squared away. He stands taller, and then as he loads, he doesn't get into a crouch to start spinning. He gets in a really good position. You can just see the load is just very subtle now, where the load seemed like he was setting himself up to almost spin out before. Now he's really in his legs in a good posture.
Start in the 4th for the Dodgers. 2-2 from Henderson. Fouled off, and we'll do it again. We've talked about it. He said that the posture is the key word for him, and where it's hardly discernible.
Yeah. It's subtle, but if you can vicariously kind of put yourself into his body as he moves, he's in a really good place.
Lines this one into right field, and he's got a leadoff hit. He's been on both times in this game, and that's now 22 times the last 36 that he's come up.
He's getting better information too, because his head and his eyes are not moving very much as he loads. You can just see everything is so stable and strong. Some people describe it as staying stacked.
He 2 weeks ago misses that pitch, right? He's already flown open.
He's flying apart. You know, the relationship between his hips and his shoulders and where his weight is and how he's loading and the vision, it's all better.
Betts now into center field. Chourio coming on, makes the catch. Good first step from Jackson Chourio. 1 gone in the 4th.
First step on the break, crosses over, gains some distance, runs the proper angle, and easy catch after that, doing all that well.
1 away, and here's Freddie Freeman.
Henderson goes and throws a no-hitter for 3 innings. And all of a sudden, though, the Dodgers look like they're on him a little bit more. It's nice to be second time around. He didn't even have his changeup, which is really his best pitch in those first 3 innings. The fastball changeup combination, the league hitting well under 200. The other pitches, they're hitting a little over 400. So there's still an opportunity here for Freddie in this part of the lineup to get him.
That's just such a small piece of the pie, hitting the above 400 against. And I guess it's that conversation about how big an arsenal do you have. Those 2 pitches, they're still not hitting it. Why widen it?
You have some. Those pitches are usually the surprise steal the strike pitch, or they are all over a guy that's really seeing you well, and you're like, I better pull the trigger on something else. But he's definitely not pitching with those other pitches.
Here comes the 1-2 to Freeman, who climbs the ladder and fouls it off. A lot of swing and miss. The ball's in play while not the batted ball profile you want in terms of line drives and fly balls, they're weak line drives and weak fly balls for the most part.
When you're a fastball changeup guy and you're getting swing and miss, there's probably a pretty big differential between the two pitches, and you're probably taking the sting out of the bat. When there's contact, the hitters are just not timing you up yet.
Tries another 1-2 to Freeman. Drilled down the line, hooking towards the pole, and just foul. Already tried to lean it fair, but just missed.
That changeup, and he got one that was up. Just the change in speeds made sure that it was foul, but Freddie was all over it. Bat to ball, really good. Timing, slightly off.
Looking for a 5th extra base hit the last 3 games.
I think they go high fastball, the one that he chased in the 1-2 count, just a protection swing.
That was the fastball, hit foul.
Wasn't high enough if you're the pitcher.
That's how you get so many of those fly balls. It lives up with that. Does hit under it. Leadoff single for Ohtani. He's at first.
Go right back up there in the strike zone with a 1-2 count. You don't want to throw your fastball for a strike here because Freddie's proven that he's out in front just barely of the changeup. So if you throw the fastball for a strike, you're going to straighten it out for him.
It's 2 disengagements. Ohtani's already been caught trying to steal today, though. Inside, and the count evens up with a cutter right there.
That cutter sets up the changeup away. Well inside, breaking right to left. Now you throw him something off speed, breaking left to right.
This is going to be the 10th pitch.
Possible momentum shift right here.
Tenth pitch taken for ball 4. What a walk for Freeman. And the Dodgers have 2 men aboard here in the 4th.
Play in center field by Cheerio, letting that ball not drop and catching it. Boy, that changed this inning so far. But Dodgers have the table set. They just need to move them around.
So it's Kyle Tucker with runners at first and second. First time the Dodgers have had multiple runners aboard in this ball game. And they do not typically let Henderson go very deep. Season high is 84 pitches. The number 60 coming here in the 4th. So a chance to break into this bullpen early on, and even with as many as Robleski threw in the first inning, could be even when it comes to the length those bullpens have to cover. Ohtani at second, Freeman at first, and Tucker struck out his first time. Watches a changeup just miss.
Everybody's approach in this second time around is different. They got a little bit of comfort and a read on this starting pitcher.
Doubled up on it, found the zone this time. Dodgers had all kinds of chances in these situations in San Diego and needed the home run ball to get their scoring done. Pop fly left side. Easy one for Rengifo. And the Dodgers the last 4 games 3 for 26 with runners in scoring position. The 2 wins against the Padres, they had 2 home runs in each of those games. And that has been the surest path to a win this year. They're 16-1 when they do that.
Tucker just told you he had one to hit. Really, the last 2 pitches were middle. He missed the second one.
It's up to Paez here with 2 out. Still leading the league in runs batted in, even as the average has cratered the last couple weeks. Yeah, the at-bat of the year against Mason Miller on Tuesday night to get a run in with a sacrifice fly. Just 1 hit, though, in San Diego, and 108 over his last 10. Challenge.
Previous pitch, call the ball. Catcher challenging.
Powered by T-Mobile.
Borderline high. It is high.
Call is confirmed. No challenges remaining.
Dodgers have not chased today. They've had 24 pitches out of the zone, and they've only had 3 chases. That was the 25th one out of the zone.
That's the part of the strike zone that's gotten the biggest shrinkage from the ABS implementation. Ball 2 on Paez. 3 inches shorter the top of the zone is with the ABS than it was with the human called strike zone last year. The full-time human called strike zone. Part of why we're seeing the walk rate at an all-time high this year. Walk rate at an all-time high. Swing rate at the lowest it's been in almost a decade. Neither one of those things, I think, good for the sport as they try to get it all calibrated. On 3-1, Paez takes ball 4 to load the bases, and so here's a chance for the Dodgers to claw right back into this game with Max Muncy coming up.
This is a good combo for Max too. He's a great fastball hitter, and he doesn't mind hitting the changeup. No breaking ball of any sort to really worry about.
Visit from Chris Hook. Muncy's strikeout his first time, and a lot of those the last week or so.
Your last name is Hook. You really think about being a pitching coach? I mean, seriously, doesn't give you a lot. I'd change my name.
Yeah. Chris Stay.
He's doing quite a job, though. They really reshape and remake pitchers here, and the organization as a whole, their pitching laboratory, whatever they're teaching, whatever they're learning, they're doing a good job.
So the Dodgers have loaded him up with a single and a pair of walks. Muncy trying to make him pay for it. Bases loaded, 2 out, down 5-0. First one from Henderson, a changeup to the bottom of the zone and a strike. Oh, 2.
Bottom of the zone, top of the zone.
Tied for second, Dodger history, grand slams. Trying to get to Henderson before it's too late. He's going to get out of it. Who wants it? Terang, and the Dodgers leave him loaded in the 4th.
Join us for Dave Roberts bobblehead night. That's on May 25th, presented by Toyo Tires. We will celebrate the legendary manager. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions for more information.
Brewers with a 5-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the 4th. Top of the order, Jackson Chourio takes strike 1 from Justin Robleski. Chourio's 1 for 2, singled and scored to lead off the ball game and then struck out. The 2 for Robleski so far, who's quickly ahead, 0-2. Another 0-2 comes home. Chourio swings and misses, and there's his third strikeout. And the bat broken. I looked down. Did he slam it? Answer is yes. Had already be broken, didn't it? Man,
It might have had a little nick in it.
halfway to Jumbo Jacks. One gone. Bryce Terang takes strike one. Terang, the son of a former big leaguer. His dad Brian played outfield for the Mariners in the early 1990s. That was before Bryce was around, but then for a lot of Bryce's childhood, his dad ran a baseball facility in Corona. So that was Bryce's home away from home every day. Down on 3 pitches here. Back-to-back Ks from Robleski. 2 outs. Up comes William Contreras in our Performance Spotlight, sponsored by your Southern California Nissan dealers. He's 2 for 2 today with a homer. Makes him 5 for his last 6, and he's got the caught stealing.
He hit a slider, and he had time to watch it because he knew it was gone. Just slashes one to right. Complete player today.
Tense, emotional leader of these Brewers. Played through a broken middle finger on his glove hand all of last year. Think about that, catching fastball after fastball on a broken finger. I don't care how thick the padding is in there. That was a challenge balk right there. He's saying that's down. There's a formal way to do that, William. The Milwaukee already out here in the 4th inning. 1-2.
He can blame himself because they're out of him. You only get so many tries.
Norbo with his palms up saying, what happened?
Yeah. What happened was the first 14, 9 of the 14 reached, but since then 6 straight down, 3 Ks. Well, that one did surprise him.
Down the right field line, Tucker towards the corner. Has room, and Robleski's got a 1-2-3-4. Back-to-back world champion Dodger baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by your Toyota dealers. We make it easy. Back at American Family Field, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Roof closed on a night where the temperature dips down into the 40s. Logan Henderson with 4 scoreless innings against the defending champ. Bottom of the lineup right here. Hernandez, Rushing, and Kim coming up. Dodgers had their first threat last inning, but left the bases loaded. Hernandez swings and misses at a first pitch cutter. 366 his last 12 games. First it was the walks, and then there was some more contact, but contact was on the ground. He started to elevate it a little bit more last few days. Finds himself down 0-2. Henderson comes back home and lines a ball to left field, a base hit. Barrels that one up similar to the way he did the home run the other day, and has a leadoff hit here in the 5th.
Surprising pitch choice after Teo was wandering after some sliders in the last at bat. And this one, they leak towards the middle of the plate in an 0-2 count. If you're going in or in the middle, you're going to try and make it a chase somehow in the dirt or way inside. Teo showed that his swing was not built for low and away.
Brings up Rushing. Out in front of a first pitch changeup. Dodgers have had the leadoff man on 3 of the 5 innings.
Dalton needs something positive at the plate and has had a tough time behind the plate with the way the pitching has gone.
Over that first hit in almost 3 weeks, looking for his first extra base hit in a month. First month, it seemed like he's getting an extra base hit every time he came up. Another pop-up, and a bunch of those, and there often are when Logan Henderson's pitching. It's Joey Ortiz for out number 1.
They try to get on top of that optical illusion fastball, and they just still hit the bottom of it or swing and miss below it.
Kim had a rare ground ball against Henderson his first time. Big swing and a fastball, fouls it off. Shane Drowan warming. But again, they rarely let Henderson go much beyond 80 pitches. 77 right now, top of the order after him. So we'll see if this is maybe going to be it if they let him face Ohtani a 3rd time. Maybe he earns that chance if he can get Kim out.
When the offense goes, this is an important part of the order. I know it's the 9 hole, but it sets Ohtani up to really make an impact on the game if you can get on. Teo waved his hand at Contreras like, come on, dude. It's 5-0, and I'm not taking a very big secondary lead.
Gets his bat on that, stays alive. No runs on 2 hits for the Dodgers, 5 runs on 8 hits for the Brewers. Dodgers have given up 10 runs the last 8 games total, and 5 over the first 2 innings tonight. Kim's down on strikes. 2 away. And it looks like he will get a chance to face Ohtani. Shohei's reached both times. He walked in the first inning. He singled in the 4th. Ohtani the last 8 games. On base percentage above 600.
Dodgers have had some traffic, but they need to get some hits with men on. They're 0 for 7 with men on.
Again, waiting for that big swing. So they won the series in San Diego. Big hole here, though. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Ohtani with a wicked cut and a miss. Strike 2. Logan Henderson 4-1 in his young major league career, looking for 1 more out to be eligible for a 5th major league win. 1-2 to Ohtani. Nasty changeup, one of his best of the night to get his 7th K, finishing off 5 scoreless. Five scoreless innings on a season high 85 pitches for Logan Henderson. Robleski goes back to work here in the 5th inning. A small victory. Silver lining in this whole thing is him able to get into the 5th. Christian Yelich leads off. And Wroblewski, as this game has gone on more consistently, has gotten ahead. First inning, though, damage done. The 4 runs, the 38 pitches, as 10 men came to the plate.
Well, the scoreboard looks a lot like Game 1 in San Diego. You know, the kind of a flat offense. The pitching didn't get it done, and they lose. But then they end up winning the series, coming back in games 2 and 3. 1-0. Yeah, it's right. I was thinking about a 4-run game, but yeah, it was 1-0 in Game 1.
Offense, though, similar, where they've had a few chances, and
it was just the Yamamoto gave up the home run. And that was it.
Solo shot.
Yep.
Pitch clock violation, 2-2. But to your point, that was a first inning home run.
Yeah.
Dodgers couldn't recover from it. 2-2 to Yelich.
Playoff flavor.
And Dave Roberts is telling us before the game, like, somehow some people don't still have a full appreciation for how good the Brewers are, even though this is every year for the better part of a decade. Just misses right there. Count is full on Yelich, and he did note the fact that they're coming off an emotional series, and so we can't have a let up. And not that there was. I think they just got blitzed in that first inning. The Brewers doing what they do at a really high level. Yelich earns the walk here to open the 5th. Well, Andrew Vaughn went from the White Sox to the Brewers last year and has been a different guy as Paul Gervais starts to warm again. Former 3rd overall pick of the draft. Adley Rutschman, Bobby Witt Jr., and then Andrew Vaughn in 2019. Got to the majors, parts of 5 seasons with the White Sox, and was a below average hitter to the point where last year he got sent down to AAA. He was done. And the White Sox just dumped him off to the Brewers. If you recall, his very first game came against the Dodgers. He got to the ballpark at 4:30. Pat Murphy said, "You're starting," at 6:45, and in his first at bat, homered against Yamamoto. He'd be one of the best hitters in the National League from that point forward. And it's cliche, but a change of scenery thing, I mean, my goodness. 700 OPS in 5 seasons in Chicago, close to 900 since he's come to Milwaukee. Grounds this one to short, could be 2. Betts to second one, Kim to first, a double play.
One thing that has never abandoned the Dodgers this year is their defense. They have been fantastic. Slick right up the middle of the field. You know, you think about Andy Pages in center and what they're doing in the middle infielders. It is really strong.
Ball on Jake Bauers, and empowering for a guy like Justin Wroblewski. This style doesn't work everywhere, but with a defense as good as this one, with the positioning that is as reliable as their defensive positioning, most accurately positioned defense in baseball year in and year out, and they can track those things these days. But that gives you that added gumption to be able to attack the strike zone and say, here it is, hit it. We were talking with Dave Roberts about that, and he said yes, but at the same time, that defense is ready to play for Wroblewski because of how he attacks, and they stay on their toes, and they know that balls are going to be in play. He works quickly. Fly ball left center field. Andy Pages, and on 100 pitches on the dot, Wroblewski's able to fight through 5.
The first 40,000 fans on May 27th will take home a Yamamoto Game 7 last out bobblehead. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions for more information.
Top of the 6th inning back here in Milwaukee. Joe, Orel, and Kirsten, and 2, 3, and 4 for the Dodgers coming up against a new pitcher for the Brewers, Shane Drowan. who has in common with Mookie Betts that he was traded from Boston. Traded from Boston this winter, part of a trade that has proven to be a big deal for the Brewers. Kyle Harrison, who they also got in that trade, has been one of the best pitchers in the National League. Drowan's not been bad himself. Starter long term, but pitching in more of a hybrid role where he'll come in and go multiple innings. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Betts, who is 0 for 2 tonight.
Drowan, not a lot of wasted motion. He throws the ball and gets right back on the rubber and ready to go. Robleski-esque.
3-2.
A little wide right there. Good take by Mookie.
3 walks in this game. Only 2 hits though. 5 scoreless innings for Logan Henderson, part of this young, surprising staff. I guess though only surprising if you're not learning from the past, which is it doesn't matter who's out there for the Brewers. If they're out there, you should believe in them. It's a leadoff walk though for Betts, and it's the 4th time in the last 6 innings they've put the leadoff man on.
They need to find a hit with somebody on base.
Looking for their first one. Their 2 hits, leadoff singles. Ohtani in the 4th, Hernandez in the 5th. They've got Freddie Freeman coming up here, who drew a 10-pitch walk his last time. Freddie had 1 10-pitch walk the last 2 years. He's got 2 this year.
Still plenty of time for this offense, especially if they keep setting the table.
Freeman ahead, 2-1.
A lot of confidence in the fastball out there with Drowan. 94, 95 miles an hour. The league's only 1 for 22 off of it.
Lefty out of Florida State. Good lead at first for Betts. Is not running. Freeman grounds it foul, and it's 2-2. Spoils it.
Yeah, that was really well done. There's fooled, and then there's fooled with balance, and that's fooled with balance right there.
Another 2-2. This time he got him with a fastball.
Almost impossible to offer at after that breaking ball the pitch before.
1 away, Kyle Tucker.
It's a rarity to have 2 lefties in the middle of your lineup back to back in your run producing area. But these 2 lefties are so good against left-handed pitchers that you can stack them.
Tucker hitting above 500 against lefties the last couple weeks. Got Mookie at first, 1 away, 2-0. Now ball 3. Pages waiting on deck. There it is, 7 out of his last 13.
Back-to-back righties pretty common in big league lineups, but back-to-back lefties in the run production area, Very rare. And Tucker, frustrated in his last at bat, had 2 pitches to hit. The second one, he popped up with a fastball right down the middle. Showed his disgust after the pop-up.
On 3-1, Tucker takes ball 4. And here they go again.
At the beginning of the season, in that long hot streak that Andy had, he was a superhero in these situations.
Automatic.
Yeah, it was crazy, and that's why he's leading the league in RBIs with 42. He'd like to make it 45 after a swing here.
Even as the overall average has dropped, runners in scoring position still up near the top of the league. Grounds the first pitch foul into that Dodger dugout. Dave Roberts diving for cover.
He did a lot of damage with pitches middle in before 2 strikes, and then with 2 strikes he would cover the outside corner and shoot the ball to right field a little bit more.
One pitch from Joan. Pages takes the ball. Lately it's pitches away that have given him extra trouble.
Yep.
He's 4 for his last 42. That's at second. Tucker at first. Pages looks at a curve. Strike 2.
So close. I was hitting the top of my head up here.
Drowan showing off that full 5-pitch mix. Again, this is a starter that this happens to be pitching out of the bullpen right now. Went 4 1/3 out of the pen his last time. 4 1/3 scoreless against the Cubs on Tuesday. Here's his 1-2. Strikes out Pages.
It was that fastball that the league is 1 for 22 against, and he just beats him to the spot. This is not the best location, but he wins the battle. Andy, when at his best, crushes that pitch.
Up to Muncy, who's up to him in the 4th with the bases loaded and 2 out, and he popped out.
See Contreras moving his glove around while the pitcher's in the set position. He's not letting Mookie relay any location at all at second.
Max was lamenting a couple days ago his lack of production in these spots this year. He's 6 for 38 now with runners in scoring position after that out in the 4th, and down 0-2 in another one of those spots here. Joan deals, and Muncy takes low. Monster series for the offense in Anaheim. Pretty quiet though. Now 4 games running. 9 runs the last 4 games. 1-2. Couple walks, couple Ks in the inning. And Deuce is wild in the 6th. Drowan to Muncy with a 2-2 pitch.
Max working hard for a living. The strikeout, the pop up, every at bat, including this one, has started with an 0-2 count.
In the air to right field. Frelick sprints over, still going, gets there. Dodgers 0 for 11 with men on base tonight.
Bullpen takes over, and what a run they're on. 27 consecutive scoreless innings for this pen. The last 8 games, 29 when you go back. Final 2 innings the game before that. Yeah, and they take over in a 5-0 game here in the 6th. Call to the bullpen brought to you by Jacoby and Myers. Paul Gervais on for the 2nd time. Bottom of the order, it's Luis Rengifo to lead off, and Gervais fires in a fastball that Rengifo pokes foul. This is the longest scoreless streak for the Dodger bullpen since 1998. Early on that season, when the closer was Scott Radinsky, Brad Klontz and Mark Guthrie were the setup man at 33 scoreless innings straight. Biggest improvement for this club last year to this year has been the collective pen. 21st in the majors last year, bullpen ERA. They are 3rd this year, without Edwin Diaz for a lot of it. Several others on the injured list.
Tanner Scott has really put the pen in order. Yes, everybody has contributed and thrown the ball very well, but as far as the trust tree and the pecking order of who comes in against what portions of the opposing team, he really has helped out Mark Parker and Dave Roberts.
Pop fly to right field. Kyle Tucker to get Rengifo. Yeah, now Frelick.
Dodgers would like Gervais to finish this game unless the scoreboard changes and they get it to 5-3, 5-4, 5-5. Then you might see some other names.
.610 against 5.9. Bouncing ball to Kim. 2 up, 2 down to the 6. Yeah, Joey Ortiz. A Southern California guy to Garden Grove near Anaheim and a Pacifica High School Mariner. There to New Mexico State. He got drafted by the Orioles, traded here to the Brewers in the Corbin Burns deal a few years back. Takes the first one a little bit high. Joey Chance. Four in the first, 1 in the second for Milwaukee. Just 1 walk in the 4 innings since then. Dodger pitching facing the minimum since the 2nd inning. Gervais to Ortiz, a 2-1 pitch. All 3 times up, Ortiz has worked long at bats tonight. Walked his first time, struck out, but on a full count pitch his 2nd time, and now 3-1. That's 2-out walk, his 2nd. Churio makes his way up. The big news over in the American League tonight. Garrett Cole makes his return from Tommy John surgery. His first start more than 500 days. And Cole against the top team in the American League, Tampa Bay. 6 scoreless innings, just 2 hits.
Pretty good. It's good for baseball when he's healthy.
Left with a 1-0 lead. Rays just scored 4 in the 8th and lead the Yankees 4-2 at Yankee Stadium. Churio skies it up there, not high enough to hit the roof like we saw a couple times in Houston a couple weeks ago. Catch made by Kim and a scoreless inning for Gervais. Well, you probably know the name for different reasons, but Tommy John, the pitcher, pretty darn good himself. And happy 83rd birthday to Tommy John, who pitched in the major leagues for 26 seasons until he was 46 years old. Teoscar Hernandez leads off the 7th, takes a strike from Shane Drowan in a 5-0 ball game. 14 of those 26 years came after the surgery that he now has his name on. Of course, it was Dr. Frank Jobe that did the operation after Tommy felt his elbow pop. Back in those days, that was pretty much a death sentence if you were going to undergo surgery, not just arm surgery, but surgery period as an athlete. Just the advancements in medical technology weren't such that you could really come back from it. But Tommy said, look, I don't think we have any other option. Most guys, they'd go through that injury, see Sandy Koufax, they would just sort of end their career abruptly. But he said, let's try it, because Dr. Jobe had thought about this kind of surgery for a couple of years. They had done this kind of surgery on hands, where they would replace ligaments in hands. Nobody really thought you could do it to an elbow and have it work. But he decided to give it a try, took a ligament out of his right wrist, put it into his left elbow. At first, it didn't work, so he had to go back in a couple months after that, and his hand had curled up. A couple of his fingers were paralyzed. It wasn't looking good. Did a little correction. A year and a half later, Tommy John comes back. Starts 31 games. Next year, he's runner-up for Cy Young. And again, a decade and a half more. Almost won 300 games. With as much of the career on the other side of that groundbreaking surgery as there was before it. Down the line to third, knocked down and recovered by Rengifo. Close play, not in time. Infield hit Hernandez.
Dr. Jobe has more wins and saves than anybody in baseball after inventing that surgery. Should be some sort of recognition in the Hall of Fame for him. Maybe if they established a medical wing.
Tommy John has said it himself. Surgery should have been named Frank Jobe surgery. Second hit of the game for Teoscar Hernandez. Leadoff man on again for the Dodgers. Actually going to say an error there on Rengifo that allows Hernandez to reach, but he is on. You know, credit to Dr. Jobe obviously for coming up with the surgery and doing the surgery, but just as uncharted was how to come back from it. And credit to Tommy John for an entire year not missing a day rehabbing. There's a base hit into center field for Rushing, his first hit in a couple weeks. And for having the courage to undergo the surgery when, again, that meant the end of the career until he proved that it could mean otherwise.
First, you got to have the right surgeon, the right patient, and the right therapist. And they had them all in that equation.
With the lefty Drowan, Miguel Rojas will pinch hit for Ha-Seong Kim.
First Dodger hit with a man on base.
Aaron Ashby gets ready. National League wins leader with 8 of them out of the bullpen. Man, oh man, Oral, how many runners can they get on and still have a goose egg up there? Been leaning on the door all night.
Few wins. It's been the home runs that have done it. They need to start getting hits with runners in scoring position.
2 on, nobody out. Rojas pinch hitting for Kim. First at bat this week for Rojas.
He's been out early when the Dodgers have decided to bring out the velocity machine early in the day to kind of stay sharp.
Smacks this ball the other way. Frelick retreats. He's got room. Hernandez heads for third, and they're at the corners. Back to the top, Shohei Ohtani. Walk, single, strikeout.
This is where the Dodger offense can steamroll you. If Shohei can get something positive going, and Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts coming up behind him, could really climb back into this game.
Here comes Pat Murphy, though. He's going to go to Aaron Ashby here. So the Dodgers 3 hits, 5 walks, man aboard with the base runners, still looking for their first run. They've got their big guy coming up when you come back.
Back-to-back world champion Dodger baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Less than 90 minutes from wherever you are. Good times. And it is Ohtani coming to the plate here. Dodgers trying to crack through, down 5-0. First and third and 1 out. Aaron Ashby's on to face him, and Aaron Ashby's having an awesome season, but he's faced Ohtani 6 times in his career, and Ohtani's 4 for 4 with 2 walks. One ball, no strikes.
Dodgers only 2 base runners away from what the Brewers have done, but the Brewers have 5 runs. The Dodgers have none.
Flies it the other way. Bowers does not have a great arm, sizes it up, makes the catch. Here comes Hernandez, throws cut off, and the Dodgers are on the board. Into second goes rushing. Sacrifice fly for Ohtani. 5-1 in the 7th. So they get first run in. They get rushing into scoring position. Here comes Betts.
Mookie looking to get one in the air to the pull side and hit it over the fence. You take the base hit and get the 2-out run. You'd love to get 2 here.
Very high with the first pitch. The Brewers bullpen overall really good, but the back end of it has not been quite as dominant as last year. Look at McGill and Uribe. They were close to unhittable for a lot of last season. Together, their ERA is up above 4 this year, up around 5. Just get to within striking distance here before you get to those guys. Ashby's 2-0. Betts has a walk today, looking for his first knock.
He's had 2 pitches to hit. Now with 2 strikes, he's going to have to battle him. Ashby's a reverse splits guy. Tougher on righties this year than lefties. Righty's only hitting 212 off of him.
2-2 pitch. Not close. You saw a second highest strikeout rate in the National League. Only Mason Miller has a higher strikeout rate than Ashby. One-time starter who they've moved into the bullpen, and he's flourished there. Here's his payoff. Betts grounds it along third. Rengifo's got it this time. Chucks it across the diamond in a stretch from Vaughn to hold the bag and end the inning. Betts says he's safe. He thinks Vaughn came off, and he might be right. They're going to challenge. Oh, Rengifo.
He's going to be safe. Oh, no. I don't know. It's when it touches the leather. It's not when it's like actually captured.
Calling the field's out.
Now call at first base.
New York can sync up the different camera angles.
Now, I don't know if you can overturn it.
I don't think you can. I think he's going to be out.
What a save by Vaughn. Door was open when Rengifo made an error to start the inning. And it's almost kept open here. That kind of defense doesn't fly
After
around
review,
here.
call on the field is confirmed. The runner is out. Los Angeles will lose their challenge.
And you're hitting below 200 as well. You wonder how many more days he has left for the Brewers. Plays like that. Stand and stretch. Time for the 7th inning stretch, brought to you by Sit and Sleep. Allstate, good hands replay. Andrew Vaughn, good hands and good stretch. 2, 3, and 4 from Milwaukee. Terang rolls the first one to Miguel Rojas. And the game doesn't waste any time getting Rojas involved in it. Terang retired on 1 pitch. 5-1 ball game. Bottom of the 7th. Gervais trying to keep it right here with the 2nd inning of work. And here's Contreras, who's got the biggest swing of this game, a 3-run home run in the 1st inning. Milwaukee scored 4 in that 1st inning. Got another run in the 2nd. And they don't have a hit since.
Slider down and in, and he just golfs it out of here. That was the first bad taste in Robo's mouth. I think Contreras is going to use a little veteran savvy right here. I think he's going to guess again, try and hit it out.
2-time All-Star, won a World Series with the Braves his rookie season. Yeah, big rip at a fastball came up empty.
Yeah, he's already got 2 hits in his back pocket. He's got a 5-1 lead, and he's like, nobody on, 1 out. Gonna give it a little pump action.
He's got his 2nd straight 3-hit game.
Big swing off the end of the bat, breaks the bat, but got enough of it to get it out there to fall short of Pages.
Now it's Yelich. Milwaukee had missed the playoffs 7 years in a row when they traded for Christian Yelich before the 2018 season, and he wins MVP, runner-up the next year. Since he arrived, 7 trips to the playoffs in 8 years. Franchise-changing, franchise-defining player right here. He is on Mount Rushmore of Milwaukee Brewers baseball. Out of Thousand Oaks in Westlake High School. Climbs the ladder to get to this fastball. Sends it in the air to deep center, but Pages has room. Milwaukee 5, the Dodgers 1. Andrew Vaughn knocked in the last of those 5 runs with a double back in the 2nd. Now hitting .342. Yeah, about a half a season. There goes Contreras, swing and a miss. Throw from Rushing, gets his counterpart. And ends the 7th. Another scoreless inning from the bullpen. And on to the 8th we go. Back-to-back world champion Dodger baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Jack's new Smash Jack Sliders Munchie Meal with a chance to win the $75,000 prize for Jack's 75th anniversary. Dodgers down 5-1, running out of chances here. Freddie Freeman leading off the 8th. A walk and 2 Ks today. Ball 1 from Aaron Ashby. Ashby, the nephew of the former All-Star pitcher Andy Ashby, who pitched a few seasons in LA. Years of dealing with injuries, failed starter, moved to the pen, and has found a home there. 2-1 on Freeman. He's 8-0 out of the bullpen. It's only the second pitcher ever to have 8 wins before June out of the pen. Mike Marshall did it in 1979, the old Dodger star reliever. Jonathan Hernandez. Freeman checks his swing and the count goes full. They've been getting the leadoff man on just about every inning. Finally able to cash in last inning. Payoff and a leadoff walk.
A lot of base runners, just 1 run. They've been waiting for an explosion and they're running out of time. They need one quickly.
Kyle Tucker takes low on that curveball that has been Ashby's best pitch. In fact, he's not given up a hit on it and gets misses on 70% of the swings against that pitch. Looks like a typo. Ball 2.
He strikes people out, but he pitches in a lot of traffic. His whip is close to 1.5.
Fouled back, 2-1.
Dodgers 2 through 6 hitter are 0 for 12, 5 walks and 6 Ks. Just need some production here in the middle.
Tucker ahead. Stays that way. Ball 3.
No challenges left for Milwaukee.
Bullpen just now starting to get somebody going for Milwaukee. On a 3-1, Tucker watches a strike on the outside corner. Full count. Just barely a think. Here's the payoff. We'll do it again.
Dodgers with 2 challenges, and here we are in the 8th. Need to be a little more liberal.
Chad Patrick. Another foul. Eighth pitch coming up. Popped into shallow right. Caught by Freeland. Runner at first, one away for Pages. Contreras taking his time going out there. That might be it for Ashby. The right-hander Patrick ready to rock.
Pat Murphy can have confidence going to his pen with him out there, Chad Patrick, because he has faced 6 batters first time in, and all 6 have been retired, so he has had a hot hand for his skipper. One of the most comforting things for a manager is understanding who you're bringing in and how they have performed, especially against the first batter.
He's going to leave Ashby in for Pages. Lefty against righty with the lefty Muncy on deck. And Pages fouls back the first pitch. Had runners at first and second the last time he was up and struck out. Here he's got Freeman at first. And he's got a 1-1 count. Chases, grounded to short. Ortiz to second one. Terrain to first late.
And he doesn't pout coming out of the box. That hustle keeps this inning alive and gives him a chance, especially with Max Muncy coming up.
Muncy 0 for 3. 5-1, top of the 8th. Curveball makes it all the way back home. Slider, actually.
It was right at his front hip and then barely makes it back to the plate.
Ashby had 1 and 2. Here it comes. Pops out of the glove. Contreras in some pain. Well, man, you hope for his and the Brewers' sake that's not related to the finger that he had dealt with for a couple of years that he had surgically repaired this offseason. But in that catching hand. Yep, it's the middle finger on his left hand. Oh no. Freed up by being pain-free. First time in a long time. This is a heart and soul type player. First injured that finger in 2024 and played a year and a half with it broken.
Can't hurt that much unless he's just got huge pain tolerance, because he's slapping his other fist into his glove.
Oh no, and now Muncy gets hit up high. Speaking of guys that you don't like the picture your team being without. Pointing at his right wrist. Can you move it? Thomas Albert asked.
Such a mental battle for the left on left situation of I'm going to stay in there, I'm going to stay in there, and all of a sudden you got to get out of the way, and you just consciously saying I'm staying in, and you just can't react fast enough. Is it knob and wrist?
I don't know if it quite got up there to the small bones where you're almost always, you know what. Yeah. He is going to leave the game. And so is Aaron Ashby. 5-1 ball game. Dodgers have him at first and second. And they'll have Teoscar Hernandez coming up when we come back. Teoscar Hernandez has been on base a couple times in this game and scored the Dodgers' lone run as the hitter here with Chad Patrick on to pitch. Similar to Aaron Ashby, back and forth between the rotation and the bullpen in his career. Lately he's turned into a weapon out of the pen.
He'll pitch in some traffic also. Walks about 4 guys every 9 innings. Doesn't strike out even near as much as Ashby does. And Teo looking for that opposite field home run. His #1 pitch is his cutter, so he should be on the outer half of the plate for him.
See, Espinal's the replacement for Muncy. Pages at second, Espinal at first, and a cutter that's fouled off to the right side, and strike 1. Dodgers 1 for 16 with men on base in this game. Bounce to first. Routine for Vaughn to the bottom of the 8th. When we wrap up, Access Sportsnet Dodgers presented by Mercury Insurance with John and Nomar and Adrian. Dodgers down 5-1 as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. A couple more scoreless innings. 31 in a row for the bullpen, and a reason for Mark Pryor to smile. This pen has been awesome. Longest scoreless inning streak since 1998 for the Dodger pen. And now a Dodger debut here for Jonathan Hernandez, who is pitching in the major leagues for the first time in 2 years. He pitched for the Texas Rangers, handful of seasons. 2024, a couple games for the Mariners, but hasn't pitched in the big league since. Dodgers just got him from Philadelphia, where he'd been pitching in AAA. So he goes from the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs to the Los Angeles Dodgers in the span of a few days. Faces Andrew Vaughn. And gets a bouncing ball to second for Rojas. Welcome back to the big leagues, Jonathan Hernandez. Espinal stays in the game, replacing Max Muncy at third. And here's Bowers. Series will continue tomorrow. Game will be exclusively on Fox. At 4:15 Los Angeles time, Roki Sasaki faces off with Robert Gasser. Sunday, back on Sportsnet LA at 11:10, Yamamoto and Brandon Sproat. Another bouncer to second. Couple plays for Rojas. 2 out. Hernandez, second generation big leaguer. His dad Fernando got to the major leagues for 2 games. The Detroit Tigers back in the late 90s, but a long pro career that took him through Korea, Mexico, Taiwan. That pitched for almost 20 years as a pro. From the Dominican Republic, Jonathan was born in Memphis while his dad was pitching for the AAA Cardinals club there. Here comes Rengifo. 9th inning for the Dodgers. They'll have rushing Rojas and Ohtani due up. Tonight, the story: missed opportunities. Dodgers only 1 fewer base runner than the Brewers have had. Brewers got the 4 runs, first 5 hitters of the ball game. Got another run in the second. Only 1 hit since. Dodgers, though, 1 for 17 with men on base.
And they've left 9 guys on base. Brewers have only left 5.
back to left. Hernandez is there. He's got it. And a 1-2-3 inning is returned to the major leagues. Welcome back, Jonathan Hernandez. One ball game to the top of the 9th. Chad Patrick stays out there. Dalton Rushing comes up to bat. And the difference in this game, not necessarily anything the Brewers have done in these situations, just the Dodgers' lack of. And the Brewers, the one big inning. Dodgers have had the leadoff man on just about every inning, but only able to break through for the 1 run in the 7th on a sac fly from Ohtani. Rushing had a hand in that rally, breaking his 0 for 17 slide. One and one on Rushing. Saw a couple defensive changes. Blake Perkins is in center field. Jackson Churrio's moved over to left.
Dalton has always been a good fastball hitter. Beginning of this year, when he was so hot, he was hitting the breaking ball, which was the struggle last year. Now trying to get it back together.
Uribe, just in case. Lays off and the count is full. Two of the top 3 teams in the National League head to head this weekend here. Dodgers the 2nd best record, Brewers 3rd best record. Everybody chasing Atlanta. Fading down the line, Rengifo. Brewers are 35-16. And an extra innings right now against Washington. 4-4 game in the 11th in Atlanta. And talking all about Dodgers and Padres, of course, playing each other the last few days. But the Diamondbacks, sneaky. They've won 5 games in a row, and they're only 3.5 back of San Diego. Giants, other end of the spectrum, just as you scan through the division. Giants now 20-30 at the 50-game mark. It's the worst record, or the first time they've been 10 games below 500 at any point in the season in 7 years. 0-1 on Rojas. There's the Rockies, 19-32. Worst record in the National League. Worst record in baseball, though, belongs to the Angels, 17-34. Ball and 2 strikes on Rojas. Rojas lays off. Count evens up. Phillies won again tonight, 17-6 since Don Mattingly took over. Christopher Sanchez, 8 scoreless innings, now 37 2/3 in a row. Rojas stays alive. Got those Phillies coming to Dodger Stadium next weekend.
They always bring a lot of energy, a lot of ability and resumes. Fun to watch. Nice challenge.
And all the way back to 500. After a really bad start that cost Rob Thompson his job. Rojas sends a lazy fly down the line. Can anybody get there? Rengifo can, and they're down to their last out.
He had the hardest angle, but he made it look easy. Left fielder, easy angle. Shortstop, a little easier angle than the third baseman. Makes a nice play.
One more trip up there for Ohtani, who has had some stat sheet bingo tonight. He's got a walk, he's got a single, he's got a sac fly with an RBI, and he's also been caught trying to steal. Singles extended his hitting streak to 8 games. Well over 400 in that time. That closer to 500 than it is 400. Fly ball left center. Churio will end this one, and with an early blitz, the Brewers beat the Dodgers 5-1.
It wasn't about traffic. It was about getting the traffic in. Early runs from the Brewers held up. Dodgers are going to have to win the next 2 to win the series.
So Milwaukee gets its 4th consecutive win. And they're 17th out of the last 22 to grow their lead in the National League Central. Game 2 of the series tomorrow, exclusively on Fox. I'll be there with you with AJ Brzezinski and Adam Wainwright and Ken Rosenthal. We'll be back with you on Sunday on Sportsnet LA. For Orl Kirsten and the rest of our crew, Joe Davis saying so long from Milwaukee, and stay tuned for Access Sportsnet Dodgers.